Hi folks, Stan Baker with Hunt the Rackett. Say, I'd like to talk to you. We were talking about my journey and how I would like for you to join me on the journey to trying to get on the All-American team. And I kind of want to give you an update. Myself and Jeff Nostrom went to Tucson just recently. And I'm really happy to tell you that I believe Jeff is tied for 12th on the All-American team. And I happen to be tied, or not tied, but I am 10th on the veteran All-American. Now that's just with 2 shoots. A lot of other guys have shot in 3 and 4 shoots. So we're looking forward to going down to Tucson in February to the Spring Grand, and hope we can get a few more points, maybe climb up that ladder, if you will. And again, we encourage you to follow us in the journey. We want to help you shoot better trap, and so we're really excited about that. And what we're going to do today is we're going down to the handicap line, and we're going to start at the 20-yard line. For remember, the beginners in trap, they will start you at the 20-yard line, I believe, for the men division. I think the women's may start at the 18. I'm not sure. I'll double check on that for you. But we're going to start today at the 20-yard line. We'll give you 3 variations of the birds at each post, and so you will receive that, and hopefully that will help you in your journey in shooting trap. In handicap, they have a system where you can receive a punch, and you earn yardage going all the way back to the 27. So if you're on the 20 and you happen to shoot a 96 out of 100, you will get a half a yard punch. So you will be shooting at the 20 and a half. You would still stay at the 20 until you hit the 21. Now, if you shoot a 97, you get a full yard. 97 or better, you get a full yard. And if you happen to be in a big shoot and you win the shoot with a 98 or better, you may even wind up with 1.5 yards. So these are things just to keep in mind, but you'll be starting at the 20-yard line. But we want to show you the variation of the birds. I'd like to tell you about my journey and the people that helped me along the way. As you know, I've been shooting for a year and roughly 10 months. Over 200,000 rounds I've shot. I put a lot of money and time into this, and I can honestly tell you there were a lot of people that helped me along the way in getting me to that AAA status and back to the 27-yard line. It starts with a gentleman by the name of Warren Watson. You notice in the last video that I mentioned him. He was the guy that got me started into sporting clays, and ultimately it led me to the trap field. The next gentleman that helped me was, and you've seen him, a lot of him, it's Ricky Marshall Jr., and we've become very close friends. He's an excellent instructor, one of the top trap shooters in America, and he's really done a fine job by me. There's been many other people like Daryl Farr, who's in Missouri, excellent raw shooter, can shoot skeet, trap, sporting clays, just about anything. He's a great guy. He's always calling me and giving me encouragement, and I really appreciate that. We also have several other people that helped me along the way. As you know, I went down to Dallas. Lanny Basham helped me with the mental management systems, which I'm still applying. He's a wonderful coach. As you know, he was a silver and gold medalist in the Olympics in the 300-meter rifle. And we went down there to the Dallas Gun Club, and he gave me 2 days of instructions in terms of the mental toughness in shooting. And just recently, I hooked up with a gentleman by the name of Bob Palmer, who wrote the book, Eye versus Target. and I am going, and he's part of the mental program also. And what Lanny will do for you is he keeps you into the process so that your conscious mind can stay out of trouble. Your conscious mind is what's telling you, oh, I got to hit that bird, and I've got to do this, and I got to do that. And guess what happens? When you start thinking, I've got to hit the bird, what do you envision but missing a bird? So he stays in the process and gives you exercises. Well, if after shooting 200,000 rounds of trap, that process does become the subconscious. You shoot with your subconscious, and if you do it long enough, 200,000 times, it becomes a habit. So you're not really thinking about it. So the next step is, how do you go into that zone when you're shooting real well? We've all been, if you've been an athlete in your time and you've performed above your ability and you just can't do anything wrong, that's the zone. And so basically what Bob does is he gives you exercises and teaches you how to get into the zone, come out of the zone, and back in. And that's basically what you're doing when you're shooting traps. So I'm really excited about that. I just started that. I've had 3 sessions on Skype. He's out of Ontario. He's a 4th degree black belt, and he's a high performance coach who works with coaches and high performance athletes in all sports. So I decided to really focus on that mental game this year, and I'll be sharing that with you as well. So there's been a lot of people along the way that have helped me, and if I didn't mention anybody, I'm really sorry. A lot of the guys that I shoot with, they give me advice, and you take it. And remember, everyone's willing to give you advice. Try it in practice. If it works, keep it. If it doesn't, throw it away. And some of the advice that I'm giving you, it may work for you, it may not. Please don't do what's not working. We would encourage you to call me at this number at the bottom of the screen. I'd love to hear feedback from you in terms of whether you think these videos are helping you, and also if they're not very helpful. I'd like to know that as well. Remember, we're not actors, so we're doing this on one take. We don't have a director and a producer and all that, so I make mistakes. I noticed in the last video that we did, I misspoke on a couple of things. First of all, if your lead leg, you should have about 60% of your weight on that leg, not 40. I got my math turned around. You start with about 60% of your weight, you're pushing to that bird. You might have a little more after the shot, but 60%. I also told you that the gun is the target. If that's wrong, the gun is your tool. So I misspoke on that. So you'll have to forgive me on those. But with that, let's go shoot some handicap. We'll start at the 20. We'll give you the variation of the bird. Remember, the red dot is my front bead. Remember, we go to the bird and we shoot through it. And let it clear the house, let it clear your gun, see the whole bird drive through it. And with that, let's go out on the trap range and see what we can do in handicap. Okay, folks, here we are on the handicap line. We are going to start at the 20-yard line. Now, for those of you who we can get to join the ATA, you will be designated on the 20-yard line. You will be a Class B shooter in singles, and you'll start at the 20-yard line. Okay, you'll shoot 500 registered birds, and hopefully, as you're shooting, if you shoot a 96 or better, you're going to get what they call a punch. And that it's not a regular punch, but you earn yardage. So at a 96, you will be classified at the 20.5 yard line. Now, you'll still shoot at the 20. but you'll have a half-yard punch. Now, if you shoot a 97 or better, you get a full yard, so you'll move back to the 21. What we're going to do in this series of videos, we're going to shoot 3 birds for you at every post, at every station. So we're going to do the 20-yard, post 1 through 5 first, 3 variation of birds. Then we're going to move back to the 21, do the same thing, and then progressively move back to the 27-yard line. Okay, before we get started, I want to make sure that you understand, gun is empty, you can see. The red dot that you will see is my bead, my front bead, okay? So I want you to focus on the bird leaving the house and going above my barrel, and me swinging to the bird and shooting through it, okay? It's very important that you do that. So let's get started with handicap, and away we go. We'll see you at the racket. All right, here's a shot where I'm coming down on the house. My eye hold is above it. I'm getting ready to call for the bird. I swing to the bird and shoot through it.